We've all been there. Sat staring at questions you don't understand, counting the minutes to your deadlines and hopelessly aware of the weight of your to-do list. As school gets harder, we only need better coping mechanisms. Prioritising your mental health is so important. I hope you enjoy my school de-stress routine. When it's the stress of midweek, the first thing I do upon waking up is so important. I don't go on my phone straight away or rush to get ready. I actually just sit with myself for a few seconds and think, how do I actually feel today? Just acknowledging it, just kind of realising, checking in. I gently just move my body and focus on my breathing. I then like to tell myself positive affirmations to start the day off, and I think this is so important in setting up your mind positively for the day. You can tell yourself whatever you want, or you can do a guided meditation via an app or on YouTube, and I find that is so helpful in making you feel less stressed. And when you get to school, it is very tempting to become so bogged down in everything that you have to do, all the tests you have coming up, all the revision you've got to do, that it's tempting to almost hide yourself away and use your breaks or lunch times to go to the library or sit there stressing. And something that I would always do as part of my routine is go and see my friends at break and lunch. Work hard in general, work hard after school, use your frees effectively, but unless it was something really pressing, I would always make time to just see my friends and de-stress that way. And then when I got home, if you know me well, you know that I am a big herbal tea lover. There is something so satisfying about having herbal tea, and it just always makes me feel calmer, especially if they have a cute quote on the tea bag. So I will generally just always make myself a herbal tea or two. I think part of de-stressing is also feeling like you're on top of things, so I tend to make a to-do list and then just crack on for a bit. So much of stress just leads to procrastination. I think the less you think about doing it and the more you just do it, the way better things are. So I'll just make a start. And then for me, this is so important if I'm feeling stressed, is to just take my dog for a walk. Getting into nature is especially important if you can, but just fresh air and movement. So I just suit up, as you can see. Let's walk. There's something so calming about the outdoors, and especially if you go on your own or just with your dog, it's such great thinking time to just take a step back from everything that you need to do. Also, it sounds like a lie and a joke, but to be honest, I actually fell in love with running during exams, just as pure stress relief. I want to see such an explorer. Okay, so I'm going into this bit of this nature reserve that there's no path, and I'm just like, let's do it. You can tell people still have walked here. Because look, there's like someone tried to make a little hut den thing. I just love it when no one else is around, and I'm just like, oh, it's just me and nature and Willow. Beautiful. Hi. Okay, so I'm just on a dog walk and I've come up with a metaphor and I really like it, so I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so you know you have this path, okay, and in this path you have all the shadows and you have all the bright bits of light. Let's walk, okay. So here you got the bright light coming in, and then you hit this big patch of dark shadow. This dark shadow is A-levels, GCSE, stress, disheartening moments where you don't do very well in a test or an exam, etc. But as you keep going throughout the year, you do hit the brighter patches, here we go, where you do well, or you feel happy, you feel satisfied with how you're doing. And then ultimately, you fluctuate again and you'll have the darker moments. And as you keep going, it sort of is this process of having to pick yourself back up when it goes badly, try and enjoy the moments of sunshine, but also what I want to say is, you see this shadowy patch and you see all the dappled bits of light. Those dappled bits of light are the moments that you take for yourself when the going gets tough. So within this whole shadow, this dark time, these dappled moments of light might be time where you take time for your mental health, such as going for a dog walk, such as taking a bath, such as saying positive affirmations to yourself, to make the shadowy time a bit easier. And then you more easily return to a bigger patch of light. And the things you have to go through, that you can jump straight over the negative times, they become a lot easier. I was just walking and I would go into the shadow and I was like, oh, I'm getting cold. And then I'd go into the light and be like, oh, this is so lovely. So tell me what you think of that little metaphor. You can tell I like English, right? And I knew you were waiting for this one, but for me, part of de-stressing comes with yoga. Yoga and meditation together, I think, are so important as a tool, especially for young people, to just feel less stressed. Whatever the season, I will make time to just settle in with my body and kind of do some yoga flows. If you've never done yoga before, you can easily find so many guided things on YouTube. You can go to classes. Something else that was kind of part of my de-stress routine is something I actually naturally don't like, which is cleaning. I am not naturally clean and tidy, like I have to make a real effort to be so. I think there is something a lot nicer about having a clean space. So put on some good tunes, because music can be so uplifting as well, and then just crack on and tidy up. Tidy space, tidy mind. I think self-care is also such a huge part of a de-stress routine for me. So whether it's just a face mask and feeling like I'm pampering myself that way, or actually just taking the time to sit in a bath and like listen to a podcast or listen to music or just watch a bit of YouTube, whatever your idea of self-care is, I think it's important to make some time for that, and also do it consciously and not feel guilty for procrastinating, because you're not. Something I also really love before I go to bed is kind of just to sit like this, and I know it sounds weird, but like massage my feet just like with my thumbs. I think there's something really relaxing about it, and for me it makes me feel like a lot more connected to myself. So sounds weird, but give it a try if you are feeling stressed. And before I go to sleep, I will either do some yoga or meditation or just lie like this and positively visualize the next day. Or if it's an exam I'm worried about or just some event I'm really terrified for, just trying to visualize it going well. So much of stress is just the state of your mind, and I think by resetting your mind and just making yourself feel more positive, you just feel so much happier. I try and eliminate self-doubt. I try and forgive myself. I try and forgive others. I try and extend this positive state to other people, and that also makes me feel better. What I want you to realize is that prioritizing your mind is so important. Yes, grades are important, and yes, you gotta work hard and blah blah blah. Yes, important, yes. But even more important is your mental state, your health, your well-being, and all of those add up in getting the grades, in being able to work hard and still be happy. I also just quickly want to say that you are enough. However you feel right now, if you don't feel clever enough, pretty enough, whatever enough, you are enough. Look after yourself. I love you lots, and I hope this helped you in some way. I know it sounds so redundant, but please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you soon. Bye.